December 2nd meeting of the Everett School Committee will come to order. Lauren, if we could start with a roll call.
Mr. Parisi?
Here.
Mr. McLaughlin?
Here.
Mr. Parker?
Here.
Mr. LaMonica?
Here.
Ms. Cardillo?
Here.
Mr. Barrow?
Here.
Mr. Eccleston?
Here, 7 members present. We have a quorum. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
may
Mr.
we
Barrow.
take a quick minute to remember the superintendent of the People Report Schools that passed away suddenly. She was only 44 years old and passed away on Friday, right after Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Mr. Barrows. 2 announcements per Mrs. Gauthier. School will be closed tomorrow due to the inclement weather. And with that, just so the public knows, the second scheduled visit for potential Superintendent Thomas Flanagan, that will be continued to next Tuesday, December 10th. Tomorrow's the 3rd?
Yeah.
Correct.
Well,
Pretty good.
that's
That was
why I
pretty
have-
good math. That was good math quickly. Okay.
The 10th.
Item number 3, reading of the records.
Move we waive the reading except read.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to waive the reading and accept the records as written. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Roman numeral 4, report of the superintendent, Mrs. Gauthier.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item number 1 is an update on the Everett High School Spectacular Gala. Mr. O'Brien is not here this evening, but I will read the list of events. The annual Christmas Concert Gala will be held on Tuesday, December 17th at 6 p.m. in the Everett High School Auditorium. As always, they welcome back alumni and friends to join in the wonderful event. District-wide events include English School Concert Wednesday, December 11th at 9 a.m., Junior Tide Band at Everett High School Thursday, December 12th at 6 p.m., Parlin Concert Friday, December 13th at 9 a.m., Whittier Concert Monday, December 16th at 9, Lafayette Concert Thursday, December 19th at 9 and 6, 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. The Webster Concert Thursday, December 19th at 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. And finally, the Kavarian Concert on Friday, December 20th at 9 a.m. Item number 2 is an update regarding the Crimson Tide Drama Club's recent performance of Once on an Island. Mr. Evan DiMarzo, the club advisor, and Mr. Stephen Black, the Everett High School Assistant Principal of Science, Technology, and Engineering Academy. I'm inviting them to come forward. Amanda Gill, the art coordinator as well. Would you come forward, please? Is that okay?
Motion. Yeah.
Make that in the form of a motion. Second.
Motion made
No,
and
right
second
across here.
to bring forth these 3 fine young people. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Please, come forward.
Do you mind if I bring some of my players with me?
Please bring
Bring them up.
bring all of them.
Thank you. Guys, mind?
They did an amazing job.
Thank you guys for the microphone. Thank you all for having us here tonight. For those of you guys who don't know me, my name is Evan DiMarzo. I am the director of the Everett High School Theater Company. Mr. Black, our assistant principal, he was assisting us in musical directing. He played the accompaniment for the performance. And Miss Gill, who is the coordinator of arts, in Everett Public Schools. She was a big help in the success of this performance as well. So I just wanted to take a few minutes to celebrate our performance that we had, not only celebrate the success of all of these students behind me, but the ones who could not make it tonight. Our company is comprised of about 75 students, both on stage and backstage doing tech with costumes and design and set. And we really just wanted to take a moment to thank you all for allowing us to put on such a great performance, the support that you guys gave us. 2 weeks ago, we performed Once on This Island in the high school auditorium. The story was a musical about life, love, and togetherness. That production was done over 3 nights, and it brought hundreds of people from our community, from all different walks of life, together to share in that experience for those 3 nights. There were a couple hundred people in attendance each night. It was an exceptional turnout. I also just wanted to take a moment to talk about the power of theater and what it means to not only myself, but to the students and the community that we have here at Everett High School. Theater teaches us empathy and compassion, and it teaches us an immense need for human connection, which is super important in today's society, especially if you think back to a few weeks ago, what we had going on during the week of our performance. It was super important for us to put on this production during that time and to spread the message of love and compassion that we share every day with each other. A few thank yous to the administration, Mr. Black, Mr. Obremski, Mr. Shaw, Mr. Nauman, Mr. Barrett, Dr. Easy. I'd also like to thank Mr. Barros, who was in attendance. Ms. Lambert was also in attendance. There was a few other people that were there from administration as well. But specifically, I would like to thank Ms. Gauthier. In the past year and a half that she has been in this position as superintendent, she has really helped us to thrive with what we have been trying to set out to do. Not just her help, the help of the administration, but really taking a step to make a change in a positive direction here at Everett High School, Everett Public Schools. So Ms. Gauthier, from the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of all of our hearts, thank you for helping us to get there. And I would also like to thank my family, extended family standing behind me. We spend a lot of time together in school and outside of school when we have our production going on, so it legitimately is like a second family. So I thank you guys all for your support, your dedication. We would not be as successful without all you guys, so thank you so much.
And I'd like to say something, because I have never before seen such talent brought forth from these kids. Really, the 3 of you, the back help that you had, did such an amazing job, and truly these kids disengaged from technology. They used their brains to memorize lines, and I couldn't be happier for you. So you did a terrific job. It was a musical. We had the pit going, the live music. It was just tremendous. So you have to bring it back again.
Hopefully we can top this one. It's going to be tough, but we'll see what we can do.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr.
Thank
Chairman.
you. Yeah, Ms. Barros.
I just want a quick thank you and thank all of you. Who was the devil? Broadway's waiting for you. all of you were amazing. I was there, like I couldn't move. It was just fantastic. So thank all of you, and also the educators who helped put all of that together. I mean, what a production. Like, it was those tiny microphones. Like, how are they? And then I saw a tiny microphone here. I'm like, wow. And I think the music was underneath, or it was the whole coordination of, there was nothing like delayed, oh, you start speaking and then the music came later. No, the whole thing was perfect. So congratulations and thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, this one was truly special. Usually after a show's over, we're like, all right, we get some time to breathe and let's move on. But this one was really special, and it's going to stick with us for a long time. People were laughing, people were crying, people that I didn't think that were able to cry were crying. So it was really spectacular.
Thank you so much.
And real quick too, I've kind of been here for the start of this theater growth that we've seen in the last couple of years, and under the direction of Mr. DeMarzo, it's been truly transformative. special thing. So props to him and how he's taken that from year to year, and every year it gets better, and every show gets better, and it's really amazing. I don't have a theater background, it's visual, so I've learned a lot through them, and it's pretty awesome, and it's been great to have Mr. Black on board as well. So thanks to them and all of you.
Thank you for sharing your talent. Thank you, Mr. Black. Item number 3 is the update on post-graduation data and the influence of Naviance. I'd like to invite Mrs. McCormick, Director of Guidance, and Mrs. Julian Whitson, the Health Coordinator for the district.
Make a motion to bring them.
Motion made and seconded to bring forth Ms. McCormick, Ms. Whitson. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having us. This is Ms. Whitson, the Coordinator of Health. I'm Mrs. McCormick, the Director of Guidance. And the first slide that we want to show you is the post-graduation survey. Guidance, we conduct a survey every year. It's a paper and pencil survey. The students take between April vacation and when they graduate. It's self-reporting. And I'd like you to focus on the class of 2018 and notice how many of our students reported to us that they planned on attending higher education. And Ms. Whitson's going to show you the next slide.
The previous chart shows that over the past 6 years, an average of 72% of graduating seniors reported that they'd be attending college. Nevertheless, when we look at real-time data, the story is quite different. This graph is from the Naviance Alumni Tracker. The next one, please.
Next one.
Using data gathered by the National Student Clearinghouse from the graduating class of 2018. I know it's difficult to read, but I hope you can see that 74% of the students initially reported that they'd be attending college. Yet 18 months after graduating, we can see that only 23% of the reporting students are enrolled in college full-time, and 9% are attending part-time. 44% have no record with the National Clearinghouse, which means that they are either in the workforce or unemployed. An additional 22% of the graduates have unspecified data, which means they've chosen not to report their status. Since they do have a record, these students were either enrolled in college at one point or are still enrolled. Either way, these numbers are vastly different than what students reported upon graduating.
So we did some research. I did some research about why some of our students are not succeeding after Everett High School. Some of them have a challenge with English being their first language. When they get to college, they don't have the supports that they have here at Everett High for EL services. Some students have to work. They work multiple jobs to support their families, so they drop out or they go to part-time college. The freshman year is very challenging for many of our students. Many of our students are first-generation students, and it's very challenging for them to go to college. Their families don't understand the whole college process. And even though we spend a lot of time prepping them, it's still a challenge for those first-generation students. Here at Everett High School, all of our students have access to technology. We have Chromebooks, we have desktops, the library is open, there's access and guidance. But when they get to college, they actually need a device to make them successful college students. The financial aid forms are challenging for our students and their families. While they're here at Everett High School, we can help them, but when they get to college, their teacher isn't saying, do you need help with your FAFSA? Do you need help from guidance? In college, they're just a number, and that's part of the support that they get here at Everett High School. Everyone cares about them, from the custodian to the secretary to guidance to the the administration, everyone's always checking in with our kids, and in college, that's not happening. And a small number of our students do graduate with the certificate of attainment because they haven't passed the MCAS, and those students can only take about 3 college classes before they'd have to matriculate, so they have to pass that MCAS before they can be a full-time college student. So after graduation, when students leave Everett High School, many of the surrounding communities charge for their transcripts. Here at Everett High School, we never charge. You can graduate at any time. You can have graduated many years ago. We give you as many transcripts as you want. We'll send them off to as many places as need be. Maybe when a student went to a college and they're transferring from one college to another, they do come back to Everett High School for help. Students take time off from college, they return here for assistance. Alumni who've received a certificate of attainment can come here. We have our MCAS boot camps on Saturdays. They can retake their MCAS until they pass it. We can provide them with support that way. And a small number of our students that maybe got a certificate of attainment and don't want to return, we can refer them to Lear or Job Corps or Scale or Justice Start, which is a program in Cambridge. If they want to come back to Everett High School, we can support that too. A small number of our students that have dropped out sometimes don't want to come back here, and we can refer them to these programs also. Methods used by EHS to connect to alumni.
Connecting with and tracking alumni can be difficult, especially since many of their families are transient and telephone numbers and addresses often change. However, we do use several methods. Firstly, we update the Everett Public Schools website and social media in an effort to encourage students to stay informed and to reach out if they're interested in doing so. We work with alumni on events such as Interview Day, the Career Expo, and the Job Fair for current students. We invite students to come in as speakers for the Pathways and CTE classes. One great example happened last week when 3 alumni, one who was in the Army National Guard, one who works for Cataldo Ambulance, and one who is an Everett police officer, collaborated with the Health Academy on a Stop the Bleed event that was extremely successful in the schools. We also ask former students to participate in our advisory boards for the academies and the CTE programs. We collaborate with them with questions about professional certifications and student capstone projects. And we also offer Summer Search and E-Club benefits.
So the Summer Search is a 7-year mentoring program that we started last year. We joined with Summer Search, and they provide 10th grade students with an opportunity to get a 7-year paid mentor, and Summer Search also provides a summer opportunity for students to travel, and that's all free to our students if they would like to participate. And you all know how much the E-Club helps our current students and the alumni.
And finally, the Perkins Career and Technical Education Grant requires annual reporting of postgraduate college and job status from the previous year's graduates. The Allied Health Academy has had success maintaining contact with alumni over the years and has successfully gathered data since the class of 2014 through sources including archived Remind app groups. So the Remind app, for those of you who don't know, is commonly used by classroom teachers to maintain, it's a texting app that's completely confidential, and teachers will connect with students with questions about projects or homework or so on and so forth. We archive our groups and we use those to reach out later on and connect with students. We also utilize the Allied Health Academy Facebook page and other social media. We include alumni in our events such as the senior luncheon and reenactments, as well as using sibling reporting.
So one of the methods that we use to help students is Naviance. So it's an online platform that was purchased by the district. It helps students as young as 9th grade to start to begin to think about their career and education goals. The students can explore careers, they research colleges, They can create resumes, they can track their activities, they take interest inventories to see what kind of a school they might want, or if they'd rather choose a career, or maybe a little of both. The students now use Naviance to apply to colleges. It monitors the deadlines for them, and it organizes it, and their parents and the student and the guidance counselor can see that the student has applied and that the dates are being met. Naviance has drawbacks because not every single school is on Naviance, so a school like Salem State has to be applied to the regular way. Naviance has something called Supermatch, where a student can put in their account all the things that they might want to see in a job or in a school, and Naviance helps match that student to the programs that they would be interested in. One of the features that the teachers like is they can actually upload their references and their recommendations right into Naviance, so a staff member doesn't have to worry that a college received their recommendation. They can see it in real time that it's been uploaded.
Everett High School seeks to empower students by ensuring that their academic pursuits align with their career goals. To that end, we've been using Virtual Job Shadow for the past 3 years. It's an interactive career exploration platform used in grades K through 12. And it helps students to explore a wide variety of career options and workforce skills through hundreds of high-energy videos. These videos explore traditional careers, but also emerging and new fields such as video game tester, marine mammologist, and so on, careers that students normally might not have any access to information about. They can take interest skill assessments to find a best fit career. They can also use Virtual Job Shadow to make a resume, search jobs and careers, or use the personal planning tool. Staff can use Virtual Job Shadow to enhance classroom lessons on important topics such as employability soft skills, time management, patience, and grit. We believe that by implementing planning tools such as Naviance and Virtual Job Shadow into student routines, they will be on a better path to leave high school with a solid plan that they are responsible for directing.
So along with Naviance, Naviance we start in the 9th grade. Virtual Job Shadow we actually start using in the 8th grade, so students can start looking into careers that they might be interested in as young as the 8th grade, and that helps them when they come to Everett High School. So one of the things that I wanted to close with is that any student that comes to Everett High School, once you're our student, you're always our student, and there is no staff member that would ever turn someone away that needed help with anything. We try to help everyone because once you're our student, you're always our student. I don't know if you have questions.
We'll get a bigger font next time.
Oh, sure. I'll make it bigger.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, just want to ask.
Go ahead, Mr. Burrows.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So when we have implemented Naviance?
Excuse me?
When we start to implement Naviance, this program, when we bought it?
We bought it about 3 years ago. This is the first year we've started using the alumni tracker.
Oh, okay.
So that we can track our alumni and what they're doing. We have been tracking the alumni using the Perkins
I see.
data. You have to use, so it seemed using the Naviance would make it easier for us to help with the Perkins data.
So by perhaps next school year, we're going to be able to balance and see
So you'll
the
be able
real
to
influence
see
of it.
2018 next year, 2019, and then we probably could do it like every year or every 6 months. Look back and see. So this is actually like August data because the students that were registered for school in August, that's what we're seeing. So
Okay.
if a student dropped out in the fall from 2008, we wouldn't see that till the start of next semester.
I see. Got it. Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Item number 4 is a request to create a revolving account for academy donations. I'd like to invite Dr. Easy up here to explain.
Second. Motion made and seconded to bring forth Dr. Easy to explain the revolving account for academy donations. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
Good afternoon. So, this item I put on the agenda to get your approval to open a revolving account at City Hall in regards to the academy and funding. As soon as the academy get going and we get donations from business owners, we'd like to have a separate account for us to use to purchase things that's surrounding the academy money.
Right now, what's happening with donations?
So right now, we have currently a revolving account for the school district, but that's with every gift that comes in goes in
So
that account.
everything stays together.
So we kind of want to have a separate account. So if a business gives us donation and being the steward of that fund, we want to be able to have that specifically linked to that account.
For sure.
Mr. Barros?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. What kind of materials or equipment, what do you use this money for? It depends on what type of donation was given to us? Like whatever that donation was given towards, we're gonna use that for that purpose?
Yeah, so it's a monetary aspect in terms of if someone donates $6,000 to the academy, that could be used to purchase T-shirts for each academy. Or if it's a field trip going to a specific location, colleges, or any other businesses, we need to have something so we can go directly to that account and not go into the general funding or revolving account for the school. And the reason why it even come to fruition is because speaking to the treasurer's office at City Hall, in order for us to have a separate account to foster all of the funds, it needs to go for your approval first and then become an account at City Hall so we can have that going through Tracy Aggie in the curriculum department.
Got it, okay. Thanks.
From the chair, if I could. So there's going to be a clear-cut way for us to be able to judge that it's supposed to be separate? I mean, sometimes the businesses make donations that they don't earmark for a particular place, if you know what I mean?
Correct.
I mean, so
if a business make a donation and they said to us, we want this fund to be specifically for the academies, this
That's
is
right.
where that money would
So
go.
they would specify it?
Correct.
Okay.
And in more cases than none, like for example, if we want to do certain type of outfitting for calling areas, you move forward in that model, and they want that money to go in that account, it would be there. I mean, obviously, for the school department, the funding, it's a bottom line number, so whatever comes into school, it goes there. But from a gift perspective and a donation, it would go into that revolving account.
Okay. Mr. McLaughlin?
Just a couple quick questions. Now, this account's going to be at City Hall?
No, it'll be in the school department.
Oh,
It has
to be in the school
created
department?
Yes.
And it'll be overseen by, we'll get a quarterly or an annual, semi-annual accounting of this account, monthly?
I don't think I understand your question.
No, if, say you take in 100,000 this month and then you spend 50,000, does the school department get an accounting where the 50,000 went and how much is left in the account? I think it should be part of financial.
So it's still going to be going through Mr. Abramski's office, the business office. It's just earmarked for that specific account. So we always know what's in that account, and if we need to do any different purchases for the academy specifically, like if it's banners or marketing schemes, it comes from that account.
I'll move favorable action.
Motion made, say, Mr. Abramski.
Unless I'm mistaken, and Dr. Easy has set it up differently with Mr. Demas, the chief financial officer, all the money that comes into the school is all held by City Hall. So everything will be held by City Hall. There is everything that we purchase to the school committee members, and specifically Mr. McLaughlin community, requires a purchase order, so it would have to go through City Hall. So the money comes in to the account, and it can't be expended out, it'll go into that specific account, it can't be expended out without going to a city hall and without a purchase order, a requisition first, which becomes a purchase order. So it's all controlled by the Assistant Superintendent of Business Affairs, the Accounts Payable and Receivable Clerk, and the Chief Financial Officer at City Hall.
Correct, so like, and everything obviously goes through the procurement procedures as well.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, just wanted to clarify the procurement aspect. Also, to the advantage of a revolving account is that it's a living account. It doesn't go back to the city if you don't use it by June 30th.
Correct.
Right.
Even the gift accounts that we have, if the gift account is not expended by June 30th, that gift account stays within that gift account.
Right.
Like, we may have one separate gift account with 10 sub-accounts underneath it.
Yeah.
And they're all separate, and that money still stays with us. The only money that would go back would be the school operating budget.
Do you envision adding that revolving account to this document? Or are you going to just add it like you have in the
Well,
past?
we would, I would have to work with Mr. Demas, the Chief Financial Officer, but if expenses were coming out of that account, just like if we took something out of athletic revolving or cafeteria revolving, it would show up on there. It would
Okay.
show up on there if it's a revolving account.
Yeah,
So for example, throughout the process of the academy model, Encore Boston, we're in talks of getting a donation from them. And that would be specifically for the business law and hospitality academy. So if that fund goes into this revolving account, we spend that money on the academy as opposed to if anything else comes up.
exactly.
Yeah.
Question, I mean, so, Dr. Easy, you end up competing with other people here for donations? In terms of, I mean, do we end up in a situation where you're seeking money from Encore for a specific thing, and there's sort of a general amount of money out there being sought? If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I don't know if I understand the question.
The man is looking for money with a football
Right,
team.
right, I mean, does this create any sort of issue where we're, again, you're looking for specifically earmarked money for the academy? Specifically your academy, or is it?
Well, no, it's not my academy, it's yours, it's school, all the academies.
All the
yes.
academies?
Correct.
Okay, so if I'm Encore, I want to donate, $100,000 that we're working with earlier, would it work in the sense that you're speaking with Encore, are you saying to Encore, of that 100,000, I'd appreciate it if 50,000 went into the academies, or how does the typical dialogue work like that?
Okay, so what would happen is, I think I presented this before, but we have 3 tiers of partnership. So there's 25,000, 50,000, 100,000.
Right, no, I remember
It doesn't all
that.
have to be monetary. It could be
Right.
just time spent externships, and job shadowing.
Sure.
So if Encore said, I want to sponsor the business law and hospitality academy, obviously because of their industry, and we have in our culinary department, a marketing department, they say, well, I want to give $20,000 to this academy, so we can buy a linen, we can buy plates, we can buy all sorts of different things for that particular academy. And that's kind of how that conversation would go. And for example, if we speak into Suffolk Construction, they want to sponsor a construction and machining technology academy, then that fund goes there. So it's kind of, I guess, it's not really competing with other departments, because if Encore wants to donate $100,000 to the school department, then obviously that goes in general funding, and it's a different account.
Okay, fair. Anybody else? We're good? Okay, motion made and seconded for favorable action. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Motion passed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Easy. Item number 5 is the request from the superintendent, me, to contract with Mass Association of School Committees to engage their policy services to examine our district policies, use their resources to update and add anything that will hold us accountable, and to compile them into a district policy manual, and to pay for the first year hosting fee in the amount of $3,500. So we do have policies We do consult attorneys to have them updated on a yearly basis, but MASC kind of standardizes everything, so all these districts are saying the same thing, and I think it's a real good idea. It protects all of us.
I move favorable action.
Mr. Parker.
So on the motion, I support this to the fullest. If you saw my campaign literature, you know, I actually had this as a bullet item to do for the next term. So as we really got to know MASC this year, we realized some of the other stuff that they provide, such as this policy service. And the beauty about this, it's boilerplate, it's vetted, their attorneys go through it, and it's, you know, it's common language from district to district. So what I've seen when I've gone to other school committee or school department websites is there'll be a policy button, which takes you, and it's basically hosted by MASC, and there'll be a drop-down menu, all the different policies, and we can pick and choose, you know, what suits us the best. So it's long overdue. Thank you for bringing it up tonight, and I would certainly ask for everybody to support this, this tool.
And as comprehensive as we think we are, sometimes we miss something. So why not, you know, invest in this and be thorough?
It is, because we'll use the public comment period. You know, it wasn't until, you know, we started doing some research and have conversations with MASC that we saw the, you know, the Spalding versus Natick agreement. So they're going to come out with a public comment policy that, you know, we'll be adopting. But again, as we mentioned, it'll be vetted. They'll look at it from a legal standpoint, and it will do nothing but help us and save us a lot of time and a lot of money. This is for what they offer. This is a cheap price.
Anyone else? All right, motion was made and seconded for the superintendent to contract with Mass Association of School Committees to engage their policy services and basically to set up to create a district policy manual. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
Next, I would like to take items 6 through 10 collectively, and I'm requesting favorable action.
So move.
Motion made and seconded to take items 6 through, was it 10?
10, yes.
10, and move favorable action. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Item number 6 is a request from Mr. David Brady, principal, for the use of the Lafayette School on Thursday, December 12th, 2019, from 5 to 7 p.m. for Polar Express Night. Item number 7 is the request from Mr. David Brady, again, principal, for the use of the Lafayette School on Thursday, December 19th, 2019, at 6 p.m. for the holiday show. Item number 8 is the acceptance from the following school council meeting minutes. George Kavarian School, November 14th, 2019. Lafayette School, November 6th, 2019. Adams School, November 19th, 2019. Item number 9 is the acceptance of the following donations. Market Basket gift cards from the Zonta Club in the amount of $400. Foundation for Autism for materials, $5,000. Item number 10 is a schedule of holiday events. I know I read some earlier. Wednesday, December 4th, 2019, Parlin School Cookies with Santa for students and families from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Saturday, December 7th, 2019, Kavarian School Breakfast with Santa from 9 to 11 a.m. Webster School Breakfast with Santa from 9 to 11 a.m. Sunday, December 8th, 2019, Polar Express Day at the Webster School. Tuesday, December 10th, 2019, Madeline English School Polar Express Night from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. Wednesday, December 11th, 2019, Madeline English School Holiday Concert at 11 a.m. Thursday, December 12th, 2019, Lafayette Polar Express Night, 5:30 to 7 p.m. Friday, December 13th, 2019, Parlin Holiday Concert at 9 a.m. Monday, December 16th, 2019, Whittier Winter Concert at 9 a.m. Tuesday, December 17th, 2019, Everett High School Spectacular Gala, 6 p.m. in the auditorium. Wednesday, December 17th, 2019, Polar Express Day for Webster Extension, pre-K to 3, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Thursday, December 19th, 2019, Devon School Polar Express Day, Cavarian School Polar Express Day, Lafayette School Holiday Show, 6 p.m., Webster School Holiday Concert, 9 a.m. Thursday, December 19th, 2019, Polar Express Day for Webster Extension, pre-K to 3, the Thursday, Friday group, and pre-K to 4. So if you want to get in the spirit, hang out at the schools, because there's nothing like a loving child at this time of year, and we have them all, thank God.
Thank you, Mrs. Gauthier. Before we go on to the next item, Ms. Cardello pointed out to me that number 5, with the contract we signed with Mass Association of School Committees, it's actually a $3,500 first-year hosting fee. So I think we'll do a roll call vote to approve that, if we could, Lauren.
Mr. LaMarca?
Yes.
Ms. Cardello?
Yes.
Mr. Barros?
Yes.
Mr. Caterese?
Yes.
Mr. LaMarca? Mr. McLaughlin?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Epizay?
Yes, 7 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. Motion passes. And I've actually already signed it, Ms.
Oh, thank you
Gauthier.
so much.
Roman numeral 5, items submitted by school committee members. Mr. McLaughlin.
Yes, I'm proposing this because I've reviewed the CVs of the people, the 4 recommendations made by the committee, and they're all wonderful people. But this is an $85 million, 7,000 student gateway school system, and it's not a starter superintendent's job, and none of them have any superintendent experience, which means it's going to be on-the-job training at the expense of the Everett taxpayers and students. They know nothing about the city of Everett. That's going to be more on-the-job training that they're going to have to accumulate in the type of students and family that we have here. And I'm also upset that people who've spent a lifetime making the Everett school system what it is, and it's a better school system, according to the Boston Globe, than any around, never got a shot. So I'm proposing, I'm moving that we reconvene the superintendent search committee and consider all candidates, and that's a motion.
I'll second that motion. I have a question also.
Go ahead, Ms. Cardello, what's your question?
Thank you. Through you to Mr. McLaughlin. You mean reconvene and continue on, reconvene with the current?
Interview more candidates,
And interview more candidates?
Yep.
Okay,
and not make it exclusive.
okay. Thank you, thank you.
Mr. Parker.
So, Mr. Chairman, this is a process that basically started a year ago. It was December 4th that the first allegation to MCAD was brought forth to this body. People knew about it prior to December 4th, but December 4th we found out. It's been almost a year since this process started. So we then decided that we would then look for a superintendent, and we would do that by engaging with the Mass Association of School Committees. There was a series of meetings with the Mass Association of School Committees. Everybody here participated in one, if not all of them. I've got the minutes from April 11th, where we determined the number of people on the search committee, and that you, as chairman, would appoint who they would be. We also approved the timeline, and we're pretty much on time to that schedule. During this process, we've had public hearings, there's been online surveys. Even though the candidates were discussed in executive session, there's plenty of opportunity to observe the search committee in action as we, determine what the questions were. So now here we are, it's December, and some might not be happy with the process. Let's be clear. Every candidate was considered, whether it was internal, external. The package of information wasn't just limited to a resume. There was, personal statements, there was letters of reference, letters of recommendation. Every candidate was considered. It wasn't that these 15 people went through that pile and said, no, this one, because this says something is gone. Everybody was considered, and it was a fair, truly a fair process. It was done by a cross-section of the community that we gave the chairman the authority to appoint. So we voted on this last 2 weeks ago. We voted 7-1 to approve those finalists, and here we are now doubting the process. I make a motion that we refer this back to sponsor, and I ask for a second.
You said to send this back to sponsor?
Yeah.
No second.
We can have multiple motions.
You have a motion, you have to vote the motion that's on the
You can
floor
have
first.
multiple motions.
No.
Then there's a ranking.
There's a motion made and seconded on the floor.
Okay, so
Mr. Chairman,
Can't have-
favorable action.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Barrows.
Mr. Chairman, I was part of that process on the search committee, and I thank you for appointing me to that. I remember we had several meetings, and there was a member of the search committee who is a mother of 2 autistic kids. She also created a group of parents, over 90% of them from Everett, that she helps to guide them through the process. Those parents whose kids have the same health issues as her kids. She was part of the search committee. She had to coordinate, and we had several meetings. She had to coordinate with her husband to come home, leave work early, come home to stay with the kids while she was coming to the search committee meetings to review the resumes. She was never told, first of all, she has no bias, right? She has no, oh, I know that person, or I don't know that person. She is a mother with 2 kids with special needs who was part of the process, analyzing resumes, reviewing, thinking about the district, those mothers that she helps, her own kids who come to our schools. There was no bias. You never told us, you look at these resumes, you don't look at these other resumes. This was a democratic process. It's because X or Y was, everyone was considered. We all look at those resumes. We had the guidance of the Mass Association School Committee, which we still do. I really don't know why we still have to go through this process just because we have 4 outstanding candidates. We haven't even interviewed them publicly, and we are already judging that they are not qualified to be superintendent of the public schools. You know, Dr. King had the famous quote that says, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." And going around this process that we already went through, or reopen this process, is not only injustice, but it's wrong. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
From the chair, I want to get something clear. I've sort of been painted in a certain way. I just want to let everybody know that the lady sitting to my left, there is nobody that has more respect for her than I do. And there's nobody that appreciates what she did and is doing for the Everett Public Schools more than I do. I'll make that clear as I possibly can. And although I've had this conversation privately with the superintendent, I want to make that public. In terms of the process, there were several school committee members that asked to be on the search committee that I unfortunately could not choose. I had a maximum of 4 people. Mr. McLaughlin, what's sad to me is you never asked to be on the search committee.
Nope.
Mr. McLaughlin, you never showed up at a focus group or anything that went on with this search committee. Mr. McLaughlin, you didn't show up today when one of the candidates was here.
I had to work.
You had to work, I had to work. Okay? I had to work, I had to go for a hospital procedure. I found my way here because that's how important I think this is. Okay? So to sit around and just throw stones at this process is just nonsensical. But having said that, we've got a motion made and seconded to reconvene the search committee. Roll call vote, please, Lauren.
And I'm not throwing any stones at the process.
So who are you throwing them at?
I'm questioning the result.
Okay, let's just be
These
clear.
poor people-
Hold on, excuse me, folks. Thank you for the help. So in other words, you're fine with the process as long as it goes the way you want it to go?
No. I'm fine
I mean,
with
I'd like to know an explanation then for what, I mean, this is what's beyond here.
I don't find
I'm going to read your motion. What's on the agenda is a roll call vote.
Yeah.
To reconvene the superintendent search committee to consider all candidates.
Yeah.
From Mr. McLaughlin, Mr. Barrows from the search committee, Mr. Parker from the search committee, not the chairman, but 2 members of the search committee have both attested to the fact that all the candidates were considered. So I take it as far as they're concerned, this agenda item is moot. But having said that,
All right.
the motion's been made, and it was seconded. I'm calling for the roll call vote right now.
Good. Well, it is what it is. Vote it up, vote it down.
Lauren?
Mr. Panarisi?
No.
Mr. McLaughlin?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
No.
Mr. LaMonica?
Yes.
Ms. Cardello?
Yes.
Mr. Barrow?
Absolutely not. No.
It's funny how things come around, isn't it? I guess I've got the deciding vote, Mr. McLaughlin, just going back to the day you nominated me to be the chairman. And I vote no. I'd like to do a motion to reconsider this motion. Roll call vote.
Second.
Second, the reconsideration. Being on the prevailing side.
Again, I'm doing the motion in the hopes that the motion fails.
Reconsideration fails.
Roll call vote, please, Lauren.
So, just to clarify, if you voted no for reconsideration, you're voting yes.
Correct.
Say that again?
So you're voting for reconsideration and that it does not prevail. So therefore, someone can't come back within
And I
24
understand that,
Yeah.
but I'm just
The
trying to
vote.
understand the vote that I'm going to make it.
Right. You. Go ahead, Lauren.
Mr. Panarisi?
Yes.
Mr. McLaughlin?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. LaMonica?
Yes.
Ms. Cardello?
Yes.
Mr. Barrows?
Yes.
Ms. Abbott?
Yes, 7 in the affirmative, 0 in the
You
negative.
can reconsider it. So we're reconsidering it?
No, we are not.
Reconsideration
We're
failed.
not reconsidering.
It didn't
Will
fail.
not prevail. Will not prevail.
Roman numeral 6, subcommittee reports. Committee on Finance. Mr. McLaughlin.
Yeah. The Committee on Finance met tonight. Present were Mr. Abizades, Mr. Parker, and myself. I move we waive the reading and accept it as written.
Second motion?
Motion been made and seconded to waive the reading of the minutes from the Committee on Finance and accept as written. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
I move we approve bills and payrolls in the amount of $1,786,053.41.
Second?
Motion made and seconded to approve bills and payrolls in the amount of $1,786,053.41. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
50% of that was special education money. I move we pay bills and payrolls in the amount of $786,053.71.
41 cents.
Second. Do we have a second?
Second motion, 41 cents.
Motion made and seconded to pay bills and payrolls in the amount of $1,786,053.41. A roll call vote, please.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, 7 in the affirmative, 0 negative. The motion passes.
Move adjournment.
Motion made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. This meeting is adjourned.